Hey everyone, me, Lance Mike, Stranded Viking here. I want to thank everyone who tuned in to my last video that was talking about the Appendix N compilation of short stories. Got a lot of great feedback, got a lot of great comments, obviously a lot of views on that. It's been a while since I had a video. I've been doing this channel for, like I said, I've been doing it for 15 years or whatever. It's been for around forever. So I don't really do it on a regular basis. I don't really normally do videos anymore. I've just kind of kept it as my way of talking to the people that are out there and, trying to connect, trying to just talk about the way I think about certain things. So really appreciated the feedback and the interaction. It kind of gave me a lot of old feels, if you will, like from back in the day. I don't know if I'm able to make another one that will continue that process, continue that generate that sort of interest, but it's not really my goal. Cool if it does, cool if it doesn't. But let's talk about what I wanted to talk about here. So, if you are a person that really enjoys Dungeons and Dragons, you like playing it, you like running the games, you probably have seen the ads for the world's largest dungeon campaign that is going to be on Backerkit. It's coming very soon. It says Q1 2025. And then when I saw that, of course, I remembered AEG, Alderac Entertainment Group, who now focuses, I think, just on board games now. But back in the day, during third edition D&D, they created a lot of really good content for Dungeons and Dragons. They had a couple of books that were called toolbox boxes that were great. If you can track those down, strongly suggest you do so. They were ahead of their time. Now, like, you see all kinds of books out there that are charts and tables of adventure ideas and NPCs, shops, magic items, things like that. And those are fantastic too, but those two toolbox books that they made were really good. And like I said, if you can just track down even the PDF, strongly suggest you track those down. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about the world's largest dungeon, which I have a copy. I picked this up at Gen Con. Oh man, it was like, I think it was 4 years ago. It was right before COVID. AEG had piles and piles of these, and also the world's largest city, which was the companion book that went with this. And they were liquidating them. Like, they had found, like, pallets of them. And these were, I think this was like either a 50 or a 60, maybe more, as far as how much the book cost when they first came out. But they were selling them for $20 a piece. And I picked up one of these in one of the world's largest city as well. And I actually, my friend Jason, ran us as a group through the world's largest dungeon, and I think the campaign lasted just a little less than a year. And we really didn't like it, which is weird, right? I mean, you'd think, like, the idea behind the world's largest dungeon is it's the ultimate challenge, over 1,600 encounters, every monster in the SRD at that time, plus brand new monsters, 16 giant maps, 840 pages of dungeon excitement in this one book, right? But this kind of was what was indicative over what the problem most people have, or at least I have, with Mega Dungeons. They're just kind of silly, and they just don't work. Now, the reason why they don't work, at least for myself, is that it's too large of an area. It is way too difficult to wrap your brain around the idea of, we're going to go in the dungeon and we're going to, like, clear out this section of it, and then we're going to leave and heal up, buy healing potions, sell the stuff we found, identify our magic items, the standard stuff you do when you leave a dungeon, and then you're going to go back in. And then the idea is that really, well, like that area of the dungeon isn't going to have more people crawl around in it and like take over the spots we're in. And so you kind of walk through all that, you hit the fast forward button, and then you go into the next chunk that you're gonna kill and slay and plunder until you leave again. And in a lot of ways for us, in some ways, like if you're just doing it to like, hey, let's just go and have some cool combats and what have you, that'll work. But the way we play D&D now, my group and I, that we've been together for decades, is there has to be a certain amount of verisimilitude that has to happen for us to really have some buy-in. Once when I'm running a game and once I realize I've lost the players, they're not really being their characters anymore. They're not really talking and acting in character anymore, and they're like, let's just go to the next room and see what's in there. I mean, I know that like they're bored, I'm bored, I'm not doing my job. And the world's largest dungeon did that. It unfortunately it was like if you played it by the book, I didn't reread it. I had no interest in rereading it. But the idea is that once you get in it, like you really can't leave. You're kind of trapped, and so you have to just make your way through the process, which is one way to solve the idea of you can't like you can't leave and come back and cover the same ground again. Like you just can't ever leave, so you're always marching forward. That's one way to solve that problem. Better ways to solve it are certain passageways or gates or finding different entrances that allow you to skip by those portions and get into that. But in most of these situations with these types of giant mega dungeons, for whatever reason, the creators don't take the time to do that. Now, and I don't write these dungeons. I don't pretend to know how to do it or find a good way to do it or anything like that. So I'm not trying to bag on it. As a matter of fact, the person who wrote, from what I understand, the vast majority, this gentleman, Jim Pinto, he wrote one of the absolute best things I have ever read for running a D&D world, King for a Day. You can pick this up off of Drive Through RPG. This is a very, very creepy Cthulhu-esque, truly scare the PCs playing D&D type of campaign scenario. I can't recommend this enough. By going, maybe I'll do a review of it at some point, but I mean, I can't really dive too far into it because of the fact that it would give away a lot of this stuff, and I don't want to do that. But this is a fantastic book. Like I said, you can pick it up off of Drive Through. I think there's even a revised edition, which makes me kind of wish I'm going to have to get that one as well. But check that out. Now, and I'm not saying that all mega dungeons are horrible. As a matter of fact, and this isn't me trying to say that like you shouldn't back the one that's going to happen on Backerkit. I'm going to back it. I'm going to buy it. I have got my email saved. As soon as I get the email saying it's launched, I'm going to go and back it. One, because I'm a collector, and I just feel like I've got way too many RPG books anyway, but there's always a bookcase that has room for one more. So I'm definitely going to, you can kind of see some of them behind me over this shoulder. You can kind of look back there. But there's tons more in my house. I want to see the changes that they've made to it. They revamped it. They're doing stuff with it. So I'm excited to see what changes they made to it. And also it's just like, it's kind of the allure of the Mega Dungeon is just kind of like if you grew up, and I'm sure people that are discovering D&D right now are doing the exact same thing, but when you grew up playing D&D in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, this idea of sitting down with a blank piece of graph paper and starting just to draw it out, and in this room I'm going to put a gelatinous cube, and in this room I'm going to put gargoyles, and in this room I'm going to put a trap that makes them slide into underground river, and then they're going to run into some lizard men or something like that. You would create this world, this little tiny microcosm of a world, and it's alluring. It allows your fantasy to really just grow and build something out of nothing. And there's something to be said for that. And whether or not I enjoyed my time playing in this world's largest dungeon, which we never completed, mind you, we never went from level 1 to level 20 like the thing says, but I definitely have taken ideas from the time that I played it and taken ideas from when I've read that book, and I've used those in the creations that I make myself. Which ultimately, if you're a good dungeon master, you should be stealing ideas from everywhere. Like I stole ideas from Appendix N, and every other dungeon master who's ever read those short stories has stolen ideas from that as well. So while I feel Mega Dungeons are kind of silly, kind of lame, not really a good adventure, so to speak, I can't stop buying them. And I really, really enjoy reading them. Case in point, I recently just picked this up from Feral Indie Studios, Avanox, and they had a Kickstarter for it. Didn't hear about it, didn't know about it, and then I found their website and bought it. And I've been reading this, and this is fantastic. Tons of cool ideas, tons of cool art. I'm not going to dive too deep into this and talk about this too much, but it is definitely something that once I get done reading through the whole thing, I'm going to steal the heck out of stuff for this for my upcoming campaign. And like I said, maybe I'll do a review of this as well. So there you go. Quick little why Mega Dungeons are silly, but why I can't stop buying them. What about you? What's some of your favorite Mega Dungeons? I mean, I've got tons that I really like, but I'm always on the lookout for ones that I don't know exist, so I can track them down and buy them myself. And with all of the cool creators out there now being able to use crowdfunding to publish their stuff, I'm finding that it is tougher and tougher to track all those down. So this is kind of a self-serving video on my end to get some ideas from you. So feed me those ideas so I can take a look at those and I can track them down myself. But regardless, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. Thank you very much for being cool and awesome. Until next time, I am Undead Viking, and yeah, just have a great day.